Hello everyone, this is Impulse and welcome back to the HermitCraft server. We're starting off the episode in a different view today. We are in the camera account, and that's because I wanted to show you guys what I've been up to in between episodes. I have now done the second wine glass? Chalice? What did you guys call it? Yeah, it kind of does. It kind of does look like that. Anyway, yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to, I have 2 more to go. I'm going to try to just knock these out in between episodes because yeah, it does take quite some time to get these done, and I don't want to burn out just building these over and over again. So I'm gonna split it up a little bit, but I did get this one done and I love it. Oh, you can't see. Camera account does not have the right texture pack to go underwater apparently. Anyway, it looks so awesome. Check it out, my Skelly horse is still here, did not despawn. We need to get like a saddle on this thing and take it somewhere, I guess. And yeah, what else have I done? Not much. That's it. I started laying out the project we're gonna work on today. As you can see, I've got this kind of beam going out, got a little marker on the end, and that is not the only one. It's on all 4 sides because, as I mentioned last episode, we're gonna make another circle here, an outer ring to Atlantis. And it's going to be pretty big. It's going to cover the top of these corners here. So it's pretty wide. I think I've done all the calculations properly and figured out, you know, these are like the outermost points. So hopefully when I go to do the circle ring around here, I won't be off by a block or any at all. We'll see. We'll see. You guys know math is not my strong suit. But yeah, Atlantis is going to get much bigger, and yeah, I still have a long ways to go. You can see all this open space in here that I need to figure out exactly what I'm doing with. Long ways to go, but this is kind of what I envisioned when I first thought of doing this idea. I wanted like an inner city and then like an outer ring of more just, I don't know, vegetation, maybe some random buildings, things like that. We may bring up some of our little automation tools that we need, you know, for making concrete and nano farms and stuff like that. We may bring those up and give them all their own little buildings or something in the future. So I don't know. I've got a lot of little ideas there, but it's mostly going to be aesthetic. But yeah, first off, I have to build this giant ring, and it's going to be a lot of blocks, so hopefully I have the material for it. We'll see, we'll see. But anyway, yeah, let's get started, and I think I'm just going to do updates this time. I know I've been giving you guys a lot of time lapses lately, so let's just do more of an update. All right, there we go. I've got the outer ring all the way done, and I am extremely proud of myself. I didn't mess this up once. My math was on point. Worked out perfectly. And as I finish this up and I take a look at this, if we take a look at the size of this, oh my goodness, guys, I am a glutton for punishment. This is going to be a huge area to fill in. This is going to take so many blocks and so much time. Oh, but it's going to look so good. So now, of course, I need to figure out what the dimensions are going to be to get the inner circle done. Basically, I want to leave this little gap in here if I can. And then, yeah, it's going to be a pretty big area going around the outside. So I have another circle that I need to do. And hopefully I get the math right on that one as well and get it right on my first try. So wish me luck. All right, there we go. I got the inner circle done now. Let's see if it comes into view as we fly over. And it's big. It's a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be, but that's all right. It's going to be fun filling this thing in. It's going to be a lot of blocks to place, and I think it's going to look awesome. I already started filling in a few blocks over here just to kind of get an idea of the sheer size of this thing, and we're gonna obviously connect up to this existing bridge here going to this portal. We're gonna leave this portal in place. I really like the fact that this this portal links up kind of 2 ways with the one in the nether, so you can, you know, in the one in the nether you can just step on the different side of the portal and it goes down below, and the one here you just go to the other side for. So I don't want to touch this portal because I like the way that it double links up that way. But yeah, we're going to have a nice big area up here, and I've been sleeping through the night because, yeah, this is going to be a huge mob farm when it gets dark. I need to light this whole platform up as I go. Otherwise, every single night it's going to be bad. I bet you if we wait a few seconds here and get a little bit further away, yep, it doesn't take long, does it? So we're going to have a bunch of mobs spawning Yeah, all the time here until I get this thing lit up. So I'm going to just go ahead and start going around and filling in the in-between of the circles there so that we have our outer kind of foundation of it. And hopefully all is good. You can see Scarf fell. This is pretty funny. I thought it was hilarious. Come ask Scarf. He's got a moment. And immediately Scarf falls from a high place. I'm not sure if Scar was trying to answer him while he was flying or something. I have no idea, but pretty bad timing there. Anyway, yeah, we're gonna have to fight off some creepers here, and yeah, lots of blocks, like I said. So I'm hoping that I will have enough stone. That's what I'm worried about. Basically, this just forms a foundation. So you can see we stepped down a block. That was on purpose. I actually would have preferred to step down 2 blocks. Yeah, I just didn't. I should have, but that's okay, because I wanted to be able to kind of have this view, a little bit of a look down from up here, and we'll step this down a little bit, but I wanted you to, you know, be able to kind of look down just a little bit on the outer ring from the inner ring. But yeah, I kind of miscalculated it, and it's only 1 block. That's okay. I'm not redoing this, of course. That took me a long time to do them circles. Oh, by the way, the second circle I did, the inner circle, nailed it. Didn't mess up once again. So I built 2 of the biggest circles I've ever built in Minecraft without a single mistake. I'm getting way too good at this, and definitely have mastered the art of doing circles in Minecraft this season, that's for sure. But anyway, yep, I'm gonna get back to work now and start placing some more slabs. Wow, that was a lot of half slabbing to do. And you can see I left these spaces out because we haven't done these all the way up with the glass, and it kind of flares out, so I didn't want to add more than I needed to there. But oh my goodness, I thought for a while there I was basically going to be spending the rest of this season just putting down half slabs. It got really tedious. In fact, let's take a look at statistics here. If we go to blocks, this is times used, the second column here. So how many half slabs have we placed so far? You know, obviously not all of these are going to be just from today, but oh, wow, 72,800 half slabs placed this season, and I think a lot of that was just now doing this. Oh my goodness, guys. So we're moving on now. I'm starting to get to, yeah, now that we've placed all these half slabs, it's time to cover them up. A lot of good that did, right? So the reason I did that, in case you're wondering, was so that underneath it would kind of have that uniform look. And you can see we're going to start adding in some sea lanterns as well for some lighting. But you can see, you know, that's kind of what we had over here on this outer ring, and we're just going to kind of mimic that. And that's the whole reason why I did half slabs. But next we need to add in the grass and the lighting, because yeah, every time I mentioned it, it becomes even close to nighttime, we start getting mobs spawning like crazy. This is like a really good mob farm right now, except it's all manual and it's very scary. Anyway, so I started messing around with how we're gonna do this lighting. I want to stick with the recessed sea lanterns covered up by, you know, the oak leaves, and then we'll just do grass around this. Now this is just kind of another base layer, like a canvas, if you will, because we're going to end up building a lot of stuff on top of this, but we need to get this lighting in. And so I took a look at it. I really wanted to minimize the amount that I had to put in. I just want to make sure that it's mob proof. So the way I did that was taking a look in my F3 screen here. You can see you have a light level of 15. That's because we're getting plenty of light from the sky, but the block level is what we care about. Let's say hey to false. And yeah, so I basically wanted to see what distance can I do since they're recessed with leaves on top. And what I found is that if you go more than 4 blocks away from a light source here, you're going to get to level 8. And in this case, where I'm at, yep, see right here. So if I stand in between all of these recessed lights, you can see it says light 8 on the block, and that is what we want, because we don't want to go below 8. That's when mobs can spawn. So basically, as long as we space these out with 4 blocks in between, you know, each middle spot, I guess, or 9 blocks total from light to light, we are good to go. And so this is kind of the layout that I've come up with. So now I just need to kind of come along here and, you know, count out, you know, I can basically go 9 blocks in between and then put a light in, and I can go, you know, I'm going to basically just do it in all directions. Now we do have a ring of lights around the outside, and as well I put the same thing on the inside back there. I'm not going to worry too much about that. I'm just going to follow this pattern and see where it ends. And we're going to have to do this all the way around. So I got a lot of lights, leaves, and grass and dirt to be putting in. So again, I might be shooting myself in the foot here with the amount of work I've given myself, but this is it, guys. This is what I visioned in the beginning of the season, episode 1, when I talked about Atlantis. This is it. This is the vision, and I will get there. I'm gonna keep working, and it's many hours, but that's fine. Like I said, it's what I want to have this place end up looking like. So yeah, here we go. Gonna get back to work. All right, so that is a lot of work to be done. I decided what I would do is actually do a time-lapse chat. I'm going to steal a page out of Mumbo's book. You're going to see a time-lapse of me placing all of these dirt blocks and whatnot. And I decided that I would do a quick Q&A session. And I asked you guys for some questions on the YouTube community page, which is a cool new feature where I can actually post a comment to the sub feed and you guys can reply there. And you guys came through. You came through for me. You got some good questions and I'm just going to go into them. So the first question is, how long have you been playing Minecraft and how were you first introduced to it? Now, I've been playing Minecraft since I believe I started in 2011, maybe 2012. So I'm just going to say 6 years. And the way I was introduced to it's quite funny, was my son at the time was just getting into video games. And at the time, I liked to play first-person shooters. I was into Battlefield 2. That tells you how far back it was. And my son was, he was wanting to play. And I didn't really want him playing first-person shooters. I think he was like a 7-year-old at the time, maybe or so. And I thought, what can I do instead? If he wants to get into games, what would be better for him? And a good friend of mine told me about this game called Minecraft and how, you basically get to build things and you kind of learn about how, minerals work and get smelted into things and all that kind of stuff. So, my son actually had an interest in architecture and things like that. Kind of wanted to be like an architect someday, as a 6-year-old. You don't really know what you want to be, but he had been talking about it. I thought, okay, this game's perfect for him. So, of course, I loaded up the game for him, bought it for him, and he goes to play it and says, "Dad, what do I do now?" And I go, "I don't know." Never played this game before. I have no idea. So I went to YouTube. Because that's what you do when you don't know things. You go to YouTube and you start just trying to do some research. I was watching some videos. It was probably, I don't know who, maybe Paul Soares back then that we were watching. Thrive and Survive series, something like that comes to mind. BOO, of course, I stumbled across. Started watching those videos, and sure enough, the more I watched, the more I thought, this is really cool that these guys are making these videos, and it's really teaching me about the game. And so that kind of got me into wanting to play the game myself. So sure enough, before I knew it, me and my son were actually playing Minecraft together in the same world, in our house. So that's how I first got started. All right, so we'll jump to the next question. It says, why did I start doing YouTube? Well, you see, as I was playing Minecraft, I got this whole engineering thing going on. I started liking the idea of automation and trying to make the game work for me. I'm kind of like an engineer at heart, so I started building things and designing things and automating things, and I thought, what? Let me try to do things differently than what I've seen done and see what happens. And so I made a gold farm with help of Skizzleman and my buddy Roby1. We came up with a really cool gold farm idea, and I decided, what? We should show people. This is a really cool design. Let's put it out there. I put it out there. And sure enough, HermitCraft, you may have heard of him, got wind of it somehow. I think I posted it on Reddit or something, and he saw it. And he liked the video, gave it a shout out, and I think maybe even used my design in one of his worlds or something. And next thing I know, I'm getting subs to my channel. And decided, what? Let's keep it rolling. Let's just make some videos. So I did a little not single player, but I did a series with my son called HermitCraft, which was a Let's Play style. And, we went from there, and I kept automating, I kept designing things, and little by little, just kept growing. Next question. What do your kids think about my Minecraft videos? Do they watch them? Not anymore. No, not anymore. They didn't really get into the technical ones anyway, all the tutorials, and whenever I do redstone, their eyes gloss over and they check out completely. But I do catch at least my youngest watching my Naked and Scared series with Skizzleman, because that's a little more just entertainment based and not technical and that kind of stuff. So she can just watch that and enjoy. So every once in a while I catch her watching. But my older two, I got a 13-year-old, I got a 12-year-old. They're not into watching my videos, not at all. Next question: what does my schedule look like? Obviously, I've mentioned it before. I got a job outside of YouTube. I got a full-time job. I got 3 kids, a wife, a dog. I got a lot going on here. So how do I make time to record Minecraft and do all these big projects? Well, it is definitely a struggle. It's a struggle that has been more and more difficult, it seems. My life is full of peaks and valleys when it comes to having to manage my time outside of doing this YouTube thing. Right now I'm in a peak, I guess you would say, with all the other stuff, and it's definitely been difficult to keep up. But what I do try to do is get to work early, get home, maybe do stuff in the afternoon. Some days I'm lucky enough I can work from home, so I can steal a lunch break to get a little bit done. Sometimes I stay up at night. Sometimes I get up early on the weekends and do that, or kind of just chip away at it through the weekend if I have time. So just kind of piecemeal the time that it takes to do this. Here's another question I get commonly. It is, how old are you? How old am I? I am 36. I know that's going to surprise some people that haven't heard that before. I am 36 years old. Of course, I've mentioned that I had 3 kids and a wife, so hopefully that's not too much of a shocker. But a lot of people, I guess, just, I'm a Let's Player. They assume I'm younger, but actually not. Next question: would you ever go full time on YouTube? How many subs or views would it take for me to even consider that? Honestly, my answer is no. I mean, unless something went absolutely crazy and I got to some phenomenal size channel for whatever reason, I don't think I would do it. I don't think I would risk it, because YouTube it's a fickle thing. It's a fickle thing. You've seen, demonetization issues. You've seen, adpocalypse. There's just not a stable enough environment there for me to consider quitting my job that I've been doing for 12 plus years now. And it's a job I like. I really like it. I get paid well. And it gives me stability. It gives me a way to support my family. YouTube, I don't think could ever do that, right? Because you never know when, you've heard 15 minutes of fame. I don't know when my 15 minutes of fame is going to be up, if you want to call it that. I don't know when you guys are all going to decide, this is it, I'm done watching Impulse, I'm tired of it, or tired of Minecraft, and that's all he does anymore. No, I don't think I could risk it unless something absolutely crazy happened. And, I don't know what that means, the exact size, but it'd have to be tons and tons of views. I mean, at least tenfold of what I'm getting now. So probably not going to happen. But that's okay, because I'm just doing this for fun, and I'm going to keep it that way. I'm not going to really think about that too much. Got another question here. It says, do you plan to expand your channel in the future to include more games other than vanilla Minecraft? I don't know. To be honest, I don't know. I am weird. I am actually don't consider myself a gamer. I typically just pick up one game at a time, get completely obsessed with it, and that's it. At some point in time, I will maybe become unobsessed with this and move on to a different game, but I don't know. I mean, I thought years ago that was going to happen, and it hasn't happened. I'm still loving vanilla Minecraft. I did try modded for a little bit. Couldn't get into it. I really, I also have that concern that if I did actually find another game that I really liked, that I would like Minecraft less, just because that's kind of the way I work, right? I went from this hardcore first-person shooter Battlefield 2 thing to Minecraft, overnight. I just flipped the switch, and so I don't really want that to happen, to be honest, but I do like other games. I like playing Rocket League and Overwatch. I just don't have a lot of time for it, is the problem. Next question: how did you and Tango meet? And also, what about Skizzleman? How did you meet? So Tango and we met because I was working on a video about iron farms. I was trying to understand how the relationship with spawn chunks and iron farms, what do they continue to process and things like that. And so I was doing some research on the internet, and I found that this guy named Tango Tech was the master of iron farms. So I contacted him to ask him some questions, and he actually responded. Back then our channels were about the same size, and he responded, and I kind of dug into his channel a little bit, watched his Let's Play that he had going on at the time, and I watched it enough to hear that he was very similar to me. Similar in age and what he had going on in his life. You know, we were both developers. You know, there was a lot in common, and so I sent him a message and I said, "Wow, man, I've been watching your videos. It seems like we've got a lot in common." And we just and so he's like, "Yeah," you know, I told him about it, and we just kind of chatted back and forth. Next thing you know, we found out we actually lived close to each other, like less than 10 miles close to each other, and decided, you know, to meet up in person. And then from there on, we just grew a friendship out of it. So it was kind of interesting to meet somebody over YouTube first and then in person. Skizzleman, opposite. I've actually known Skizzleman since high school. Him and I were drummers. We were on the drum line together in high school. He's 2 years older than me, by the way. He was the section leader, and you know, he was giving me private lessons and all that kind of stuff. And we both knew that you know, we were both go-getters, and we hit it off that way, and we've been friends ever since. He is my absolute best friend in life, and I've known him now for, I don't even want to say 20. It's been over 20 years. So we're practically neighbors. And him and his wife are good friends with me and my wife, of course, and they're always hanging out. So yeah, we just have that relationship, you know. And then we started YouTube later. All right, next question: why did you decide to build a base around the Guardian Temple in Season 5? Well, the Guardian Farm was something that I had never tackled myself personally, and the idea of being able to get a lot of XP to mend all my things and just, you know, have XP and have, you know, also the resources you get with it really intrigued me. You know, I like the idea that anytime my Elytra is almost dead, I just drop down to the Guardian Farm and I swing away for a little bit and my Elytra's fixed in no time. So I wanted to do that. And then at the same time, I kind of had this idea that I would build the city of Atlantis, and I tried to just figure out, well, how can I incorporate the two? And that's when I came up with the idea of making Atlantis kind of hovering over the ocean above the Guardian Farm. So that's kind of how it all came together. Got another question here. It says, what are your plans for HermitCraft Season 6? Well, I don't know. I know I am going to do things a little differently than I did this season. This season, I definitely bit off more than I could chew. One thing I really tried to do this season was push myself to become a better builder. So I focused a lot more on building this season than automation, which is something I've never done in the past. And that was just me trying to push myself out of my comfort zone to get better at this game and try new things. I think now that I've done that, I'm pretty proud with how things turned out, and I feel like I've grown as a builder as well, which was what my goal was for this season. I think in Season 6, whenever that comes, which we don't know yet, but whenever that comes, I'm sure it will. I want to get back to the automation, but incorporate these new building skills I've learned. So I want to finally tie it together. Before it was like all automation. This season it was like pretty much all building. Next season, I want to see if I can actually marry those two together. All right, and the final question I'm going to answer today is, when will the next Naked and Scared season begin? We've been teasing about it. Things come up, life comes up, and we think we got a recording date, and then life comes up, and then we got to push it back a week. So I'd like to say, and I keep saying this, within a week or two, we've got the planning part done. We know exactly what we're doing. In fact, I've created the world. We've spelled out the rules, all that kind of stuff. Literally, the only thing that needs to happen at this point is Skizzleman and I sit down and record, and start recording these episodes and start putting them together for you guys. So that should happen very soon. We pretty much plan a recording date every week, and the last 2 weeks something came up and we missed it. So hopefully this week we actually sit down and record it, and it will be out earliest sometime next week. Hopefully no later than that, but if we have to push, maybe a week later. So within a week or two, we want to get it out. We're super excited. Hopefully you guys are too. Guys, if you're not watching the Naked and Scared stuff, go check it out. It's one of the most fun series ever. Trust me. Go check it out. All right, well, that's going to do it for this time-lapse chat. I know it was a little long, / Q&A, but hopefully you guys enjoyed it. And look at what we accomplished in the meantime. Take a look. Doesn't that look good? All right, look at this. This place is looking great. We're back out of the Q&A session. You can watch the video again. Those of you that tuned out and would just kind of listen to me ramble on about my life. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it though. Look at this. Look at this. I mean, this is just now. I mean, now that we're out of the overhead camera angle, you guys can really get a sense of how massive this thing is. I mean, that was a ton of blocks to place. So I didn't really know the best approach on this video, you know, this episode. Yeah, I was basically just placing blocks the majority of the time, and it was a lot. It was a lot of hours put into this. So hopefully the Q&A session was good with you guys. If you enjoyed it, you know, just let me know. Let me know what you think. You know, it's not something I'm going to do all the time or anything like that, but it did feel like it fit considering the amount of work we needed to do. Look at this. I was so far over that side that grass wasn't spreading. It's like that's how big this space is. The chunks aren't like loaded on the other side of this thing. It's too far. That my base literally goes out of chunk like rendering distance. That is insane. Oh, I wanted to show you guys this too. Look at the underneath side. We got to fix that bridge, of course. But look at the underneath. It just looks so cool. You can see how perfectly the lights at an angle line up, and they're just perfectly evenly spread. Even in between the sections, you can kind of follow it through, which is really cool looking. So we got, yeah, a lot more work to do on that one and this one over here. This is a enormous base, guys. That's what I was talking about in the Q&A. Maybe bit off more than I can chew. We got a lot of work left to do, and I'm going to keep chipping away. But I do think it might be time for me to step away from the base. We've been here a few episodes in a row. Let me know what you guys think. I know that you guys are kind of on, you know, 50-50 on this. Would you like to see me step away and do something else for once? Or should we just keep grinding away and get this thing, you know, to that final vision that I have in my mind? And I want to show you guys eventually. Yeah. So anyway, let me know what you guys think of that. Let me know what you guys think of the video itself. If you guys enjoyed it, of course, I encourage you to hit that like button. And if you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe before you go. And with that said, I'll see you guys again next time. Have a good one, everyone.